Hello everyone, what is up? Today I am playing an upgraded Simic deck. Now, Through the Omenpaths has been out for about a week, and oh boy, the reception has been bad. Real bad, in fact. People are super down on this set, admittedly myself included. But that's not going to stop me from trying out some new cards in some classically powerful decks that we have in standard right now, and that's what I have for you today. I am trying out the Simic Ouroboroid deck, but we are adding in one of the new cards, Druneth, Reviver of the Hive. I think this card fits really well in this deck and actually adds a bit more power to the deck overall. So Druneth is a 1/1 for Simic. Trample. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value equal to Druneth's power, copy that spell, except that copy isn't legendary, then put a +1/+1 counter on Druneth. The idea is we want to play out Druneth on turn 2, of course, and hope that we have maybe a Llanowar Elf or a Gene Pollinator on the field turn 1. That means we have access to 3 mana. Then we can maybe play out a Mite or another Llanowar Elf or a Gene Pollinator, pump Druneth up to 2 power, and then follow it up with a Imago or a Drowner, copy all of these things, and really present a nice board state. Now, notably, not playing any counter magic in this deck. We are kind of going all in on the plan of flooding out the board with a whole bunch of creatures and hoping things work out for us. We're going to jump into some games and see how it works out. Catch you over there. All right, so we got a simple one today. Now, just out of curiosity, as I was loading things up, I kind of thought about something. I thought, you know what? Things feel bad. Honestly, channel not doing great. So if you can help me out, please do subscribe, comment down below. Most importantly, comments are way down on video. So even if you're just saying hello, I would very much appreciate that. But yeah, things are looking real bad right now on Magic Arena or on the client in general. What are we going to do here? Are we going to go out with a Surrock? Yeah, let's go out with a Surrock. And yeah, I think it might be a response to people's reaction to Through the Omenpaths. So just looking at Untapped, usually standard meta breakdown, best of 1, bronze to mythic, looking at the entire encapsulation of the format, we usually get something like 5.5 million games. Right now, 3.5 million games being played. That is pretty atrocious. Anyways, our opponent playing out a Summon Fenrir, ramping up to 4 mana. We might be in trouble. Do I want to warp something out, put out the Mite? I got a lot of options here. I think what we're going to do is start off with... it doesn't look good. No matter what I do here, it looks real bad. So I don't think I'm going to do the Imago. I don't really want to throw the Surrock into this Summon Fenrir, but I do want to get some damage in. But maybe it is just a matter of drawing with the Quantum Riddler this turn. We do hit the summon, or the Into the Flood Maw. That's kind of cool. And then maybe I can react with a Flood Pit's Drowner to tap down this Regal Bunnycorn that's probably going to be getting too big. That might be the plan. Anyways, yeah, I was a little distracted talking about the meta. Wow. Through the Omenpaths, not doing well at all. Talk about a card that we got to deal with. Before that thing goes to combat, I got to return that to their hand. So that wasn't what I wanted to do, but I think it's absolutely necessary to bounce that right now. And now we're kind of in a weird position where things are not much better. Their Summon Fenrir is going away next turn, so we can't really attack in. So instead, maybe what it is just... Again, setting up, maybe it's just playing out the Quantum Riddler. It's a 4/6 in the air. We can't do anything about the Ouroboroid for now, but we will be able to tap it down in the future. Regal Bunnycorn is going to get pretty powerful here. And we need to find an Ouroboroid of our own. I have a feeling I maybe played this a little bit wrong while I was rambling on about how disappointing and how bad the latest set has been. Man, it's phew. To say the least, it's been rough. Okay, so we could challenge the Regal Bunnycorn this turn, but I think it's probably okay just to go like this. we're going to tap down the Bunny Corn. We're going to attack in with the Surrock and the Quantum Riddler. There's no point in attacking in with the Llanowar Elf, of course. Take the opponent down to 12. And then we're going to be setting up for a pretty good turn next turn. So we'll put out the Hemosymbic Mite. We will also put out the Gene Pollinator. Let's just go wide. Let's go super wide. And hope that we hit a land. If we hit a land next turn, things are looking real good, I think. What do you got? A Paw Patch Recruit. My bad. Definitely should have tapped down the Ouroboroid, but maybe that's okay. We'll see. Oh my god, what am I doing? I'm out of it this morning. First game jitters. So they're going to get an Innkeeper's Talent trigger. Everything's going to get pumped up. Are they going to attack in with something? That's the big question. Oh boy. You know what? Let's just let it resolve, as much as I hate this. Boom. And do they get in with the Ouroboroid? Get in with the Ouroboroid, please. No. So now we can't do the Flood Pitch Drowner. We hit our own Ouroboroid, but we don't hit what we need. Still, I think this is actually kind of okay. We were very careful with how things played out here. We get to put a little bit more power on the Ouroboroid. I also think I may as well put out the Gene Pollinator. Oh, wow. I guess they were... I don't know why you would ever scoop there. That's insane. I played that game so poorly. Please don't judge me on that. That was... Go ahead, judge me. Judge me all you want. Whatever. Okay, whatever. We're going to focus up for game 2. No more of this nonsense. I said the normal stuff. I said the subscribe. I said comment. Please help the channel. Of course, like I said, things are struggling around here. But now we got to get back into Magic, and we got to focus up. This deck is not a super thinky deck, but we do got to pay ever so slight attention. This hand looks okay. We get to go out with an early Llanowar Elves. That's nice. And then we have a lot of power to follow it up, and maybe, just maybe, we're going to be able to Druneth into double Hemosymbic Mite, into double Genemorph Imago, into double Sentinel of the Nameless City. That's what we're here to do. Druneth is kind of a cool card. I hope it works out. They are on mice. They have 2 Cavernous Souls for their mice. And that's just a Emberheart Challenger. I'm not too worried about that. Yes, sir. You can attack. So that's an okay card to draw, because it guarantees that we're going to be able to do our fun stuff next turn. And here we go. Double Hemosymbic Mite. We have a Druneth on 2 power. And yeah, this is what you want to do. Please don't have removal. They're looking at it. They might have a Sheltered by Ghost. They always... Man, these decks always have a Sheltered by Ghost. That would be so good with the Emberheart Challenger right now. But next turn, Imago at the very least plus Breeding Pool is going to be pretty darn powerful. Oh, they're making double. They don't have... Ooh! This is cool. They don't have a way. The single Sunbillow Verge is not going to do anything. And we get to do the fun thing. Double Imago. Breeding Pool. Tapped or untapped? I think I'm okay just putting it in tapped. I do have to be a little bit aware of my life total. And we get to pump here. We get to pump here. And then we may as well swing on in with a lot of power. How much is this going to be? Is this lethal? Do I just go in one more? Sure. Boom, boom. Not lethal, but very, very close. Oh, okay. Druneth is super fun whenever it actually does the thing. Emberheart Challengers probably need to be chump blocked this turn, but they're down to 1, so I think that's okay. If they go attacking in here, there's no way they're going to put 4 blockers on the field to stop all 4 remaining creatures. Raging Battle Mouse? What? The second spell you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast. Celebration at the beginning of combat on your turn. If 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control this turn, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. That's pretty cool. But they're tapped out. No, they're not tapped out. They still have the Plains. They have Cavern of Souls. I don't know if they actually could play that Plains. Anyways, yeah, look at Druneth doing some cool stuff. Okay. Very cool proof of concept. Simic. Simic's just one of those colors, right? Right now, in Standard, it feels good. Every time, I've made a lot of videos with Simic, but every single time I make one of these videos, it just feels so good. This hand, little sketch, but we are against Sephiroth. They are going to have limited removal. If we can hit a 2-drop, it'll be real good. And then if we hit a 3-drop, of course. What is this? Wreckage Wickerfolk. When it enters Surveil 2. That's kind of cool. Okay. So they're surveilling 3 in total thanks to the Snarling Gorehound. They put a Resentful Revelation in the graveyard as well as a Swamp. Well, there's a 3-drop, so that's not what we want. But it's not bad. So we will Druneth. We will Llanowar Elf. And now we have quite a bit. Oh, it doesn't give me a cool anime token copy. What? I feel like I was done dirty here by the client. I paid good gold for this. All right. If we hit, we're going to have 5 mana. Honestly, if we hit a 2-drop here, absolutely insane. Druneth's going to go pump. But we do need to hit a 2-drop. The opponent not doing anything. Sure, we'll take 3 damage. 2-drop. Oh. And there it is. So, do I put out the Surrak? Or do I try to... You got to put out the Surrak, right? As much as it hurts. Alright, Surrak on the field. Maybe the Surrak will help draw into something cool. There's no point in attacking in. Hey, okay, so maybe the plan's not going to work out so well in this matchup. The opponent having 1/3 is pretty powerful. Surrak's Uprising, or Garruk's Uprising, pretty cool. We could block, get rid of this. I actually don't hate that. Let's get rid of this ugly Llanowar Elf token. We don't want that on our field. And we hit a second. Oh no, it's falling apart. It's falling apart. Well, we're going to attack in for 8 damage. That's not bad. Was it 8? It was. When did they gain a life? I don't know. Shinra Reinforcements. I have no idea what's going on here. Mill 3. They are on something. What is this? Hollow Marauder. This spell... Cast 1 less to cast for each creature in your graveyard. When this creature enters any number of target opponents, each discard a card for each of those opponents who didn't discard a card of mana value 4 or greater. Draw a card. Okay. And we're just not finding what we need. We can still get in with the Surrak. I'm kind of hoping that they have something... Okay. I'm kind of hoping that they have... a way of targeting some of our stuff so that we can get some draws off of Surrak. What? Are we dead? This spell costs 1 less to cast for each permanent in your graveyard. Reach, trample, immune. Prevent all combat damage will be dealt to diamond weapon. Alright, so fellas, our opponent doing the cool thing. Actually, this is a super sweet deck. What is going on here? The opponent is just filling their graveyard with permanents. All of their things seemingly are permanents that are putting stuff into the graveyard, surveilling, and then they're playing out diamond weapons and Husk Burster Swarm. Sure. We're dead. I'm dead. I'm very dead. Oh my god. You got to hit the opponent with a nice deck. And a smiley face. That is cool. I don't mind losing this. A little unfortunate we didn't hit quickly enough. Even if we did hit it quickly enough, I don't think we would have made it. Attacking with the diamond weapon. What are you doing? Not lethal. Okay, we'll get one more draw. Let's see if we find our 2-drop. We find our 1-drop. Okay. Could I bounce something? Could I kind of stay alive? There's no way. These things all have trample. Very, very cool opponent from... or deck from our opponent there. Oh boy. Sure. You're gonna have to look into this. Permanents in graveyard.deck. Okay. I'm just looking over at untapped stats again. And this is from, okay, September 17th. So just 10 days ago. But according to what do we want to put out? We want to put out the Gene Pollinator first. This is actually a really good hand. According to this, historic best of 3 recorded 540 matches since September 17th. Aw, aw, why? So, do I play it carefully and put out just another Gene Pollinator? I think I am going to do that. So the idea here is that I really want to be able to play Druneth and Hemosymbic Mite on the same turn. If I can play both of those on the same turn, we get the trigger. However, if I just go out with the Druneth this turn, holding up the 1 CMC thing, it's not very exciting. So I think this is the better play in the end. Sure. We can still get in with the Gene Pollinator as well. So we're going to make 2 Mites, and then probably we get this Ouroboroid on the field next turn. I can attack. Why not? I'm not going to feign having, Snakeskin Veil, I guess. Let's just hope they play. That's fine. And I don't know. I don't care what they play here. Burst Lightning on Druneth is actually super fine. Okay, we're going to have the Ouroboroid next turn. It's going to pump up our Mites, and we should be able to race this opponent down. And I may as well do this. Just get a Llanowar Elf on the field. A little bit more power. Pump. I'm not going to block with these Mites, so let's get in for, 10 damage? Something like that? Would have been 10? Yeah, 10 damage. And the opponent saw what was happening. They knew they had to deal with the Ouroboroid and the Mites. They're not having any of that. Love ramping into Ouroboroid. Alright, we got some more fast games going. The last video that I put out was the same thing. It was quite quick. It was like a 30-ish minute video. Usually I don't get those kinds of videos, but it was one of those. What do you do when you have forest, but you do have a Gene Pollinator, and if you draw another land or another playable permanent, you can potentially get out the Ouroboroid, but you're also not doing literally anything else. Okay, we throw it away. This looks a lot better. So we're going to go turn 1 Forest into Llanowar Elf, of course, probably then into Imago, and then into the Ouroboroid. Do I need to keep the land? Yeah, you need to keep the land. Okay, let's hope that we find a little bit more power. That's all we got to do. We're against Gruul. Fate Weaver Spiders. The Spiders deck, man, that deck, yeah, so the last video that I put out was the Gruul Spiders, and somebody commented, I can't remember who it was, maybe, I can go look. I'm going to go look for the next game, and I'll pop it up, but they commented, wow, you're playing Gruul without the power, and yeah, that's exactly how that deck felt. Okay, we get to Imago. I could have Imagoed into the land, but what does it matter, right? You can't. You would have to tap the Llanowar Elf. No, that wouldn't have made sense. I needed the blue source. So ignore me. Now with the Imago on the field, we can play out the forest. And now I'm gonna have a choice actually. Do I want to ramp out the Ouroboroid, or do I go a little bit slower and put out the Sentinel of the Nameless City first? The opponent also put out the Multiversal Passage, took 2 damage, and did nothing with that mana. So you'd love to see that. Okay, I think the play is to hold off on the Ouroboroid. Yeah, we're going to hold off on the Ouroboroid. So we will do this. We are not attacking in with the Genemorph because the Fate Weaver does have reach. It'll be a problem that I'll have to deal with eventually. But what I will do is just flood everything out. And so the idea here is that next turn you play out the Ouroboroid, you play out the island, you pump up the Ouroboroid into a 3/3, and then, yeah, pump everything up by 3. Isn't that kind of cool? Let's hope they tap out just to make sure that we don't have to contend with anything. Sure. The opponent's leaning all in. They got some cool spider. Well, I guess they have 1 spider thing. Okie dokie, and this is how we probably take a win here. I think once this hits the field, what does the opponent really do in this case? Oh, they could have Into the Floodmaw. Yeah, okay. Okay, caught me with my pants down a little bit. Sure, we'll keep a second Ouroboroid on the top. And do I attack in? No, I think I just wait. Of course, the Fate Weaver will have its choice of whatever it wants to murder going forward, but as long as they don't have another Into the Floodmaw for the following turn, we're going to be pretty golden. We'll play out the Ouroboroid, we'll play out the island, pump it up, and we should be good. And if we hit another land on the following turn, we're going to be really good, like insanely good. They have one card in hand. If they have it, they have it. We got 2 mana. We can't... I was going to say we can't really pay for any counters. Do they have another Floodmaw? No. What a hero over there. That is an opponent that just had it. Okay. It's fine. They're down to 1 card. They do have Demira on the field, and they could possibly use Demira to find something. Now, they sacrifice the Fate Weaver to go and get a Scion of the Spider. Okay, I like what the opponent's doing. They're playing a much cooler version of a spider deck. 5 color spiders. Do they have mana for it? At the beginning of combat on your turn, other spiders you control gain flying, first strike, trample, lifelink, and haste until the end of turn. All right. They're going to have all their colors, right? Green, blue, red. No, they can't cast it because they don't have black and white. They need to find another mana source. But they just drew so many cards there. And they find another Fate Weaver. Are we in trouble? And it's not a land. Oh, disappointment. Okay, so it is the Ouroboroid to the field. It comes in tapped because of Makdi and Itla. And honestly, a game that I thought was in a pretty good spot for us suddenly goes pretty bad. Again, I don't think they have the mana for the Scion. And if we find a land on the top, we play the Ouroboroid, we pump the new Ouroboroid up to 6. Or, no, maybe you do the old one because it has a +1 on it. So it would be +7. Everything is going to get crazy. But we need them not to have any more answers. Those 2 Into the Floodmaws, absolutely devastating. Okay. We gotta try. Enter tapped, doesn't matter. You know what? I'm gonna put it on this one because if they bounce one of our Ouroboroids, okay. So we want the smaller one to go first. Yes. Smaller one to go first. Bigger one to go. No, you want the bigger one to go first. Okay. Boom, boom. Everything happens. Oh, there we go. And then at this point, it's fine to start whittling down what they have, I think. They can kill one thing. You go in with everything. You just go in with everything. It's fine. You got to keep them off kilter. Once they get this Scion onto the field, they just need to find another Cavern of Souls, and then they'll be able to cast it out. I think we can take an L from the Fate Weaver on something. But then they're going to be losing. They literally have to block with their entire board. And they are going to draw a bunch of cards. They're going to get 4 creature cards. So that's pretty good from the opponent. Actually, we might have a hard time getting through. That being said, they only have 5 mana. They're going to have to play out a lot of stuff. If they find a lot of 1-drops, if they find a lot of Fate Weavers, we could be in trouble there. Sure. I don't... No, opponent, you had to block everything. They were all lethal hits. All right. I appreciate what the opponent was doing. That was a very cool version of spiders. Just unfortunate that they couldn't deal with double Ouroboroids coming down. But Ouroboroid into Imago. Whew, cool. So, what do you think? Do we need the Repulsive Mutation? The card I forgot the name of in the last video. I don't know if this deck needs it. This hand looking a little sketch, but we get to go first. And we do have a little bit of interaction with this Flood Pit Drowner. So I think, yeah, it's not too bad to put out the Mite, Imago, hopefully hit a 3rd land. Then we can pump up the Mite and really have a lot of fun bashing in our opponent's face. But they do have cool, cool things there. Okay, let's just attack with the Mite. Yep, sure. Imago, and now we're all up to the top of our deck. We desperately need to find lands as usual, but we have a good number of lands. I think it's 23 lands in the deck. It probably could be 24, since we are kind of dependent on landfall, and we do want to hit 4 mana for the Ouroboroid. However, we do have 8 accelerators. Well, we do hit it. Okay. It's fine. They took out our Imago. Is what it is. We get to pump up our Sentinel for no reason. And they did take a little bit of damage with the Feed the Swarm, so it got in for some damage. Maybe I should have put out the Suruk on that last turn. I just saw Sentinel. I like Sentinel a lot, though. I definitely gravitate towards this card. It's going to be a real pounding if it can start getting in. What is this card? Quint's Insight. At the beginning of your first main phase, discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Whenever you play a land or cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, this enchantment deals 1 damage to each opponent. Sure. Okay. Well, we're going in like this. I think I'm not going to try to pump up the Mite. I think it's fine just doing 5 damage. I'm going to go with the Suruk, and then hold up the Into the Flood Maw, bounce whatever creature they might be putting onto the field to block us. Hopefully they don't have some kind of board wipe. They could in black. I have no idea what the opponent's playing. We're running into some weird decks. People are definitely experimenting with stuff now that the season is pretty much, you know, they're in Mythic. New sets come out. They don't really, I think a lot of people don't really care. They're not trying too hard. Nobody's playing, not a lot of people are playing mono red or VV, what have you. But you get them occasionally. Ooh, Malcolm. Alluring Scoundrel. Okay, so they have the Desecrex. Desecrex? Whenever Desecrex enters, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains this creature, attacks each combat if able. Okay, so Malcolm is going to come back. Malcolm. Okay, so do we win? We might win. It depends on what these maps hit. It depends on what this map hits. Okay. So I guess I still do it, right? So we tap down Malcolm. Maybe I should have done it the other way. I should have maybe... I don't know. I don't know. Dang. Just to imagine if one of these weren't... Do I do it now or do I do it later? Let's do it now because I might want to fix the top of my deck. What? We went from having 2 lands to saying, oh, I really need to draw a land, to now I have 9 lands? 8 lands. Okay. Sure. Sure. Sentinel of the Nameless City, investing in real estate, really helping us prop up our portfolio. Thanks, bud. We definitely need to finish off the opponent, though. All right. They can mayhem this, I guess. Ooh. Glacial Dragon Hunt. So they're going to smack Suruk, probably, but we're going to get to draw a card here. Yep. Suruk draws us a Llanowar Elf. Beautiful. But I think they're dead here, right? Unless, do they have a... Ooh, they do. They can bring back the Augmenter. These draws are absolutely trash. Oh my god. So what do? I attack in with the Sentinel, trade off. I don't even trade. What? I think the opponent just turned the corner simply because my deck was sitting here with its finger up its nose, deciding, you know what? You asked for lands. I'm going to give you nothing but lands. Magic's not a frustrating game whatsoever. No. It's fine. And Llanowar Elf is essentially a land, right? That being said, no, we're so dead. They can use this thing, I guess, that has Harmonized. They could, in theory, cast it. Murder our... I mean, why would they do that? All these lands and no Imago, too. That's the other thing. If we do hit an Imago, I guess that's a thing. So they do end up going with the Glacial Dragon Hunt to blast the Mite, maybe? The Drowner, maybe? I don't know. What do you hit? Whatever it is. What we need off the top is... We just need Ouroboroid. Easy. Give me an Ouroboroid off the top, and we win. Probably. Ouroboroid. Don't attack opponent. Ooh. Hold up. Oh, it had to attack. Oh, Malcolm had to attack. I forgot what Decicrix does. No, and the Mite is not good enough. Oh, man. So do I attack? Do I attack with everything? If I attack with everything, they are going to block, of course, here. Maybe they block here. So I'll get the Kivni, whatever. I'm so tilted right now, actually. At least I get a map. Wow, they're going to do that way? I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that. So Hemosymbic Mite onto the field. Crack the map. Find another Mite. Another Mite's not good enough. We need to find Imago. We need to find Ouroboroid. We need to find maybe a Surok would be okay. Although I don't think I have another Surok. I'm only playing 2. Oh, no, there's still one more in the deck. I don't know. The opponent gets in with this card. Sure, it has to. Okay. Decicrix forcing the attacks is kind of interesting. But they got 5 cards in hand. I don't see how we're getting out of this. So Decicrix, what is Mayhem? You may cast this card from your graveyard for this if you discarded it this turn. Did they discard it this turn? I suppose they must have. I didn't see them do that, but okay. So they're putting up the wall, putting up all the blockers. This is such a hard one to lose because we had it. We were there. Into the Floodmaw. Not good enough. Why? My opponent's doing so many cool things. They're 36 cards deep. We're, 41. And we've seen such a poor part of our deck. I must sound like the biggest whiner in the world right now. To be fair, Quint's Insight has been doing a lot of work for them. Getting to loot every single time for just 2 mana. That's kind of cool. And it is a Through the Omenpaths card. So nice to see a Madness deck. I don't think this Madness deck beats my deck, you know, the majority of the time. It needs our deck to flounder like it is. So they are attacking in. This is our turn. It does. Ooh, do they have to attack? But they have. This is lethal damage, right? So I have to block this. And how much damage? 8, 9, 10, 11. I can't block it. I can't block it. Oh, I literally just can't block. I can't win. Okay, right? Can't block. Can't block. Trample. Doesn't matter. Menace. Gotta block here. Good game. The opponent earned it. What am I saying? I have the Into the Floodmaw. Did I miss lethal here by... Is this... How much damage is this? Is it still 11 damage? It's 10 damage. I didn't... I forgot that I had a card in hand. Maybe not blocking here was actually the smartest thing to do. No. Whatever. There was no way we were getting through. I'm sure maybe we could have drawn... you know, in theory, I could have blocked on this. They would have played this out. They would have brought back another blocker. I would have needed I would have had only one attacker, so even if I drew a Flood Maw or a Flood Pitch Drowner, they would have had 2 blockers. The Desecrix did some insane work for the opponent that game, and so did our lands. Okay, 7th and final game for this one. I'm just sitting here thinking, you know, I was whining a lot in that last game, but when you're sitting there drawing land, and you need to fill the air because, you know, that's kind of what I'm doing is talking a lot. What do I talk about? I don't have anything to play. What do I talk about? Okay, well, so maybe for our final game, we are going to do the cool thing. As long as the opponent doesn't have removal for our Druneth this turn, we're going to be able to Imago, double up on Imagos, and yeah, maybe something cool can come out of this. This is a pretty cool board on turn 2. Okay. Yeah? And no, so they can hit the Druneth. Okay, that's real. I really wanted to get the Surok on the field as well. Like, the Surok would have been insane to be able to put out on the field. I can't do this. I can't do anything with that. So they're just going to take out the Druneth, and our opponent is on the no fun plan. That's too bad. We still get 2 Imagos, so next turn if we end up drawing, I guess I could have put out, maybe I should have put out the Surok anyways there. I didn't want 3 damage. I wanted a Surok on the field. Right? Alright. So, let's pump here, and Flood Pit's Drowner the Preacher, or bounce the Preacher. No. We're going to do it this way. We're going to bounce the Preacher. We're going to put out the Surok. And we're going to attack in for 8. That's pretty good. Next turn, Flood Pitch Drowner on whatever. If they just play out the Preacher, that's not going to be good enough. If we draw land, we have more pumps. We should be good. Nice. Okay, a good way to end it. I really wish I could have seen Druneth getting up all the way to 3 counters and getting double. What? You do get double Surok, right? Because she makes a non-legendary. Yeah, 2 Suroks. That would have been so sweet. Oh well, maybe in the future. When I got them, let's open them. Through the Omenpaths pack. Why not? What do we get this time? Eleni? In Web, whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 green and white human citizen creature token. Well, it is a human. Okay. But it's 4 mana for a 3/5. Creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain vigilance until the end of turn. That's probably like a bomb in Limited, right? That's gotta be a crazy card. I don't think I'm ever gonna see it played in Standard, but whew. Okie dokie. So we go 5 and 2. Pretty good performance out of this, and honestly, it could have been better if the deck just operated ever so slightly. I think that game that we lost, obviously, to the Mayhem deck was the deck losing to itself, and sometimes that happens, sure, but I think this deck definitely feels pretty good. Whether or not this is the makeup of the deck, I don't know. I'm not, like, Quantum Riddler's fine. It's a powerful card, but I'm not sure if I would want Quantum Riddler over a mutation. I kind of wouldn't mind having a little bit of counter magic in this deck, or even Snakeskin Veils to prevent some of the spot removal. I think Druneth, though, as a 4/of, absolutely fits in this deck. When you can get Druneth on the field, every time Druneth hit, no, with the exception that one time I was missing the 2-drop, it can be a little bit weird. So I would maybe want to fill out the curve a little bit more. I think, like, the idea of having Druneth on the field and then getting up to a 3 can happen, but probably won't happen. Getting up to a 4, you're dreaming at that point. It may be, but probably not. And then up to 5. So do we really need the Quantum Riddler? We are drawing cards with the Surok. We are getting map tokens with the Sentinel. I think that's probably good enough for our draw in the deck. The Quantum Riddler probably don't really need it. But I think Druneth as a 4/of is really good. Maybe we just need to fix the curve. I think our 1 slot is really good. Gene Pollinator really impressing me in the deck. I think it has definitely a place in the deck because you can put it out and then immediately tap down the Druneth. That's kind of cool. Overall, of course, Simic, super cool, and that is that. So do let me know what you think about the Simic upgrade. Is Druneth appropriate for this deck, or are you going to stick with some of the other builds that are floating around? that's it for this one. It's the first video of the week. Have a good week. I hope everything goes well. And I'm going to start doing a new thing. It's not for you. It's for someone else. 사랑해, 아가님. Bye.